Alright, welcome to the video lecture on chapter 3, how to estimate and increase revenues. So you and your partner have identified a product or service, and we wanted you to focus on one product or service. And now we say how to estimate the revenues from that product or service, and how to increase the revenues from that product or service. So you would see the accounting that we are going to learn, mainly revenues, is very closely related to the marketing branch. So the marketing folks speaks a lot of what we study this week. The concepts, the 4 concepts, estimating revenues, want to get a sense of that, sense of marketing management, marketing plan, and the target demand. Start with estimating revenues. So how do we estimate revenues? But before we go there, why is it a good idea to focus initially on a single product? Right? And simply because it is easier to understand the accounting concepts with a single product. Aristotle said first principles are all that matters, and we really need to grasp the first principles. It's like the foundation of a building. When the foundation is strong, you can always build more floors on it. So similarly, when you grasp the fundamentals of the accounting principles behind estimating revenues, then later it's easier to understand how to estimate revenues for the second product and third product. So that's why we focus initially on a single product. Okay. So how do you estimate revenues from a single product? It's pretty common sense. Estimated revenues from, let's say, the t-shirts that we sell, or let's say somebody who is charging a subscription fee for a website. The price per unit times the expected demand in a year. Price is the amount the customers of the product or service is willing to pay. In our case, $10 per t-shirt. Say $15, a subscription fee per month to a website. Right? Now, note that the price is in between the cost to the producer, because you don't want to go and charge a price that's below your cost, then you don't even recover your cost. And you can't charge a price that is more than the value to the customer, then he won't buy it. So the price is to lie between the value to the customer and cost to the producer, right? And in between, you would like it to be close to the value to the customer, but when there is competition, there'll be pressure to lower it, but you never want to lower it below your cost. Now, expected demand, how many t-shirts customers are going to buy in a year, is the expected demand, the number of units of the product or service that the target customers are expected to purchase. How many times you can charge the subscription fee in a year, right? And that's the demand for your product. We'll go a little deeper into it down the line. Okay, let's stop and think. Which is the most uncertain part of estimating revenues? I just told you estimating revenues is price per unit times expected demand per year. But which is the most uncertain part? Is it knowing the target market, designing the product, estimating the expected demand, determining the price? Pause the video and think about the answer. The correct answer is C, knowing the market I mean, you know which market to target. It's not the most uncertain. Designing the product, you know what your customers want, you're designing it. But estimating the expected, how many people do you expect to buy your product? That's a tough one. Right? The price is something you are determining. Right? It may not be the best price to charge, but you control the price. So in fact, in chapter 7, we will study about how do managers deal with this uncertain demand, because, I mean, what if you were overly optimistic about your estimate of the demand? Everything is going to look good. But then in reality, you try to do the business, you find you are not getting the demand. So we will study a tool called break-even analysis. Okay? Let's go to the second accounting concept. Okay, if you have any questions on this, you write it down. You do this for every concept. Then finally you post what you think is the best question that you have, so that when others rate your question, you may get the 5 stars and get chosen by me and get 1 extra credit. But you get your QCT point for just posting 1 question. Marketing management. Okay, so like I said, revenues and marketing, they relate so closely. So let's be clear, what is marketing? Marketing can be defined as meeting the needs of customers while earning a profit for the company. Okay? So you want to meet the needs of some customers. You know, remember the N of DNA is you're meeting needs. Right? But you also want to earn a profit. Yes, you want to have lifelong happiness, but you also want to earn a living, right? Earn some additional income. So what we are doing, it closely relates to the marketing idea of marketing. Meet the needs of customers while earn a profit for you and your partner. Accordingly, managing the marketing function well will help a company generate greater revenues and earn a higher income. Revenues are the top line. That's the money that comes into the firm. So if you do a good job in marketing, you can get a lot of money to come in. But sometimes people think that's what marketing is. No, I mean, you want to do it in a way so finally your bottom line, your income is also higher. Okay. What is marketing management? According to Philip Kotler, he is the leading author of the marketing text. Marketing management is the art and science of targeting, getting, retaining, and growing customers. So marketing management is about a target. Don't try to sell your product for the whole world. It's not effective. Find the group that you can serve the best. Then you got to get them. Then you got to retain them. Then you got to grow your market through them, because they will go and tell their family and friends. So marketing management is the art and science. We do a lot of empirical studies and see what works, and then we build theories. So there's a science involved, but still there's also an art of how do you do it. So the marketing management is the art and science of targeting, getting, retaining, and growing customers through designing and offering products or services they value. So if you want to target, attract, retain, grow, you must design products that they value. Right? What is it the customers want? And then you need to offer it to them. Now in between, you got to produce it, you got to sell it, you got to service it. So all of that is part of the offering, right? And so customers value what you are giving to meet a need that they are facing. So that's all part of marketing management. The end result of marketing management, when you do all these things, well, is a marketing plan. And you have to develop a marketing plan for your business. So before we go to the marketing plan, let's stop and think. What is not a part of marketing? Okay, what is not a part of marketing? Targeting customers, earning profits, designing products. All of the above are part of marketing. Pause the video and see what answer you will come up with. The correct answer is D. People may be tempted to say B is not a part of marketing. No, earning profits is part of marketing as well. You want to bring in revenues, but not just any revenues. Revenues that will result in more profits, right? So all of the above are part of marketing. For you to do that, you got to design products that will meet their needs well. You got to target customers. So all of the above are part of marketing. Write a question for Coach T so you can choose the best later. Now let's go to the marketing plan, the end result of marketing management. So what is a marketing plan? What constitutes a marketing plan? The following 4 P's have traditionally been part of a marketing plan. Now they have developed into more P's, but the 4 P's for the longest of time, even now it captures the essence of a marketing plan. The first P is the product. Now they all start with the letter P. So when we say product, you don't want to just think about the t-shirt that we are selling. No, how to bundle the goods to increase the value to the customers. See, you want to put it in a plastic bag, but you want it to be see-through because the logos is the essence of what we are selling. So, but you don't want to just sell the t-shirt, because when you are standing out there, you're selling, they may get damaged and may get even dirty. So you bundle the goods to increase the value to the customers. So when you're thinking about the product, for example, have you ever faced this situation? You went and you bought a little toy for your nephew or niece, and they get excited, they open it up, and then you find, oops, it won't work because the battery was not included. So you get annoyed. I mean, you spent so much money and now you didn't realize the battery was not included, and they have it in some fine print. See, that's not a good job they have done in marketing, because the next time you're going to be skeptical to buy anything from them. So you want to see like pencil and eraser, right? Don't just sell the pencil, because the customers who use pencil are going to need an eraser. So you bundle the things together to increase the value. Remember, price is between value and cost. So if you can increase the value, then you have a greater chances of charging a higher price. So that's the second P, the price. What is the customer willing to pay in exchange for the bundle of goods that you give, right? So the marketing management, you got to carefully choose your price. Now we are starting with a $10 price because we're saying we want it to be affordable to many people who come to watch the Dome game. The third P is the place. Where should the exchange take place? How is the product going to reach the customer, and the customer going to make the payment? It's the popular term is distribution channels. How is the product going to be distributed? And sometimes or many times products are distributed through retail outlets, right? Sometimes online, right? So marketing plan includes the distribution. The fourth P is promotion. how does the seller communicate with the customer? You may have all these things you need to tell the customer, and that's promotion. Is initial promotion. Anytime you're starting something new, like in your case, you're going to make a big splash of, hey, there's a new product on the market. Then you have to do routine promotion to retain and grow your customers. Okay, so this is the marketing plan. Let's stop and think for a minute. Which of the following will not help increase demand? Because if you do the marketing plan well, you've done the marketing management well, then you're going to be able to get greater revenues and greater profits. But which of the following will not help increase demand? Bundling the products, decreasing the price, distribution through convenient channels, increased competition. Pause the video and see what your answer will be. Okay, the correct answer is increase competition. You may think decreasing the price may have been the answer also. It is true, if you decrease the price, you may not get a lot of revenues, because revenues is price times expected demand, so you don't want to charge a lower price. But on the other hand, decreasing the price will increasing the number of people who buy your product. So the question is not which will not help increase revenues, help increase demand. So we will study in the Thursday class or in the video tutorial. That comes in chapter 5. We will see how to play around with your price to optimize your revenue. At this point, decreasing the price, it's enough for you to know, will increase the demand in general, right? So that is going to help. Place, distribution channels, if you do a good job, that's going to help. But increase competition. I mean, if there is more people competing for their money, then the number of people who buy your product is going to come down. So that's the correct answer. So finally, the target demand. Right? How do you estimate the target demand for a product or service? Well, based on your marketing plan, how many customers will be attracted to your product each year? So in our case, we say we are targeting those who come to the Dome game. We say 5,000 will, 100,000 are coming, 5,000 we expect will get attracted to our customers, to our product. Then the next question is, on average, how many units will each customer consume in a year? Now it's even tougher, because some guys may buy a lot, some guys may buy only one time, but on average, how many units? These are all estimates, but you try to make an intelligent guess, and you can do some Google search and find out, and particularly if there is somebody else doing something similar, you can see what the numbers are. And let's say that is why in our case we say, well, on average we think they'll buy 4. Some will buy less, some will buy more, but on average it's 4. What then is the target demand? So the demand that you're targeting is X times Y, 5,000 times 4. So 20,000 t-shirts is what we are targeting to sell. Okay, so that's the target demand. So in somebody who is doing a website and people pay subscription, so you say, well, how many customers will be attracted to your website? On average, if you're charging a monthly subscription, how many months you can expect them to subscribe to your website, right? So if 2,000 customers will be attracted on an average, let's say 8 months they will subscribe, then 2,000 times 8, 16,000 is your target demand. How do you estimate the demand growth? So this is another principle. The demand does grow, right? The typical firm, it takes a couple of years to reach this target demand. Like in our case, the 20,000 t-shirts, we're not going to sell it in the very first year. Right? We are new, even though we do initial promotion, demand picks up every year, then it reaches the target demand. For simplicity, we have assumed that the target will be reached in 3 years, and we are asking all of you to assume that it will reach in 3 years, so we can focus on the first principles and not try to major in the minors. We have also assumed that 80% of the target will be reached in the first year. This number could be different for different businesses, but we are keeping it simple. So in our case, 5,000 times 4, 20,000 t-shirts, but first year we expect 80% of it, 16,000 will be sold. Second year we say 90% of the target of 20,000 is 18,000. So 16,000 the first year, 18,000 the second year, then you reach your target, and then from there you stay at target. Yes, every year there may be some new customers you get, there may be some others who lose interest, so but you say you hit your target, and it kind of balances out. The new ones balance out the ones that you lose, and then you would make 20,000. Okay, let's stop and think. Which of the following statements is not true about target demand? Target demand is the expected stable demand. Is that true or not true? It takes a couple of years to reach the target demand. Competition will bring target demand down. Target demand need not be realistic. Take a minute. The correct answer is D. Target demand has to be realistic. I mean, otherwise, if you're just picking a number from the air, the whole exercise becomes meaningless. But everything else is true. It is that expected stable demand for us, that 20,000. It does take a couple of years to get to the 20,000. There's a lot of competition. We may not be able to get 20,000. That's why you need to be mindful of your competition, whether direct or indirect. Okay, so the correct answer is D. Okay, so you post your question under any one of these 4 accounting concepts. You got to do that before Monday night. Okay, and then I'll put a video tutorial on the homework.